Hi there and welcome to Bustthenet. This is the show I like to call Game Changer. It's a chance for me to get into your game, take a look at it. Maybe I might come up with a different way of playing, or sometimes on some of these shows you guys just send in a whole save and ask me for help straight away. And in this particular case, we want to know what we can do with your system to make it a bit more effective, and that we establish from our conversations on Discord. So you're managing Aston Villa. This is Darren's save where he's managing Aston Villa. And Aston Villa, well, they are one of the favourites to get promoted. 4-1 out odds. So you're taking over the side. So everyone says you should get promoted. So let's see what happens. And you've been playing with a tactic. Now, this is going to be the interesting part, and I'm going to do a blog post on this and do it in a bit more detail. But I've been concerned with the number of people who go into the game expecting to score more goals. They see the shots on target, they see the shots, sometimes see clear-cut chances and they go, why isn't my player finishing off these chances, or why are my shots so lousy, or whatever. Okay, now I have a way of looking at this game, and I don't believe that a lot of the shots are accurate. Our interpretation of what constitutes a good chance is very important here. So when you're looking at a chance, what makes a good chance in a game? A good chance should be an attempt at goal where the player is not under pressure, has time to control the ball, and is definitely not having to adjust his body to do it at the same time. So things like a volley, that's not a good shot. I would not consider that a good shot in the box. Why? Because a volley is technically a very skillful shot. And then you've got a header. When you have a header with nobody else jumping with you, then it's okay. But if you have a header and you are standing still, for example, that's a much harder header to pull off than a header where you are actually getting moving your body towards the ball, and you can direct your header. Because actually standing and heading and trying to generate power is a lot more harder than it seems. But if you're doing that with players around you, the shot becomes a lot more harder. So that becomes it's not an easy chance. That becomes a hard chance. So we need to be able to establish what constitutes an easy chance and what constitutes a poor chance. If you have a chance in the box where there's not a lot of time to take your shot, that's not an easy chance. But if you have a shot that is a bit more central and you have time to settle in and take the shot, then that's a good chance. So we need to be able to establish what good chances are inside the box. So whenever you create a tactic, what I like to do is I like to analyze my tactic. So I've come up with a methodology, right? Now this methodology involves me going through every single game, listing out the kind of shots I've made, and then removing all shots that have come from set pieces, because I don't consider like corners, free kicks, throw-ins. I remove all of them. So if there's any shot on target that comes from one of those set pieces, then they're disregarded. Then that leaves me with only shots from open play. Then I look for shots from open play that are reasonably good chances inside the box, and I distinguish them from chances that are outside the box. So ideally what we want to see is more good chances inside the box. So here we have a whole set of matches that you've played. You played against Hull, Plymouth, Cardiff and Reading. What I normally do in pre-season is when I'm trying out a tactic, I normally have some decent competition I play against, so that it gives me a rough idea of what my good chance indicator is. I like to call it a good chance indicator. That way it's a bit easier for me, for myself. Then I can tell people, what's your good chance indicator? It's like sees clear-cut chances, but it's slightly different, because while clear-cut chances will include set pieces, I don't want to include set pieces in this equation, because I purely want to focus on open play. Because if you can do well with open play, then set pieces becomes a bonus. And then you kind of get better. When you get better with the game, then you will see what I mean. So here we have your good chance indicator. So let's see. Your first game you played against Hull, right? You won that 1-0. You had 25 shots, 6 on target. The AI had 6 on target. Now the AI definitely did better than you, 75 versus your 24 for a 56% possession that you had. So you have more possession, but you didn't generate quality. You didn't generate a lot of shots on target. Now this is 24%. So let's remove set pieces, throw-ins. Let's remove the rotten shots. So how many shots do you have inside the box? So you had a total of 5 shots inside the box. Now we would have removed all the set pieces from here. So these are open play chances. You have 5. How many chances do you have which are good? Now to establish this, I need to go into the game and look through every highlight. Then I look through every single shot. Now for me, a good shot inside the box is one that's is central, is not under any pressure. It could be a tap in, it could be an unchallenged header, but there's time for the player to strike the shot, or it's a tap in that he missed. For all the shots that you had none. You had 12 shots outside the box, which gives me a good chance indicator of 0. As a percentage of your shots in the box from open play to total shots is 20%. So while you may have had 24%, it knocks you down even further because we have removed set pieces from the equation. So it's 20%. Now in the second match that you played, you won that. So basically against the game against Hull, where you won 1-0, you didn't make a single good chance inside the box. So how did you win this game? Probably this particular game is off a set piece. So the second game you had Plymouth 3-1 Carabao Cup, 16 for 8. So you're basically something like a 50% SOT here. Opposition didn't do too well. Possession was okay. You had 2 good chances inside the box, which isn't too bad, but it's still again only 30%, which would tell me that 1 out of 3, maybe 1 out of 3, maybe almost 1 out of 4 chances inside the box. So you really get a good goal scoring opportunity once every 4 times. So okay, it's not bad, it's pretty decent, but you want to aim for a bit more higher. 17-5, 10-2, you can see this 29% away, 47% possession. Second game 2 for 8, and that's not good as well. It's quite bad, so it's 25%. And then in the next game you had 11 in total, 4 shots on target, 20 for 9. Here no chances inside the box, and 3 outside the box. The game says you had 3 clear-cut chances, but this is the interesting part. They were not chances that you created from open play, right? So from open play you did nada. So I removed that, and then you had 0%. So they weren't very good. And even you had 1 chance, but the game considered it a clear-cut chance. I didn't. I don't think it was that easy because there was a high element of skill involved in that attempt. So that wasn't really a good chance. So the problem right now that you face is that you have a system right now that isn't giving you a lot of good chances inside the box. So what we do next is we look at a tactic. So this is the tactic you've been using. The tactic that you've been using has got a fullback on support, a wingback on support, and we're looking here, he takes few risky passes, fullback on support with few risky passes, in the middle, few PPMs, PI says okay, up top, nothing much. Okay, you've got bulk basic, that's fine. However, let's look at this tactic a bit more closely. Basically, what you have here is a system that will uses 2 shots, exploit the left flank, exploit the right flank, which tells your players to pump balls to the flanks. It's placed on control structure, so your game is going to be a pretty intense, right? You're not going to do a lot of building up of play, and when I saw most of the highlights, your play would break down. Either the play breaks down over here, or play breaks down over here. You have very few chances that came from good build-up play. So defense to midfield, from midfield to because you see the midfield transition is broken down into 2 phases: consolidation and penetration. You couldn't consolidate, and you hardly any time for penetration as well. And this is probably down to the fact that you got 2 wingers or bombing up this way. So a lot of the play has to go through Onoma. So if Onoma has a bad game, your whole tactic falls apart. On top of that, you got a player up top. You want him to play as a complete forward. Now, I will tell everybody, if you want to use a complete forward, the benchmark for playing a complete forward is very high. So You got to get the perfect player for this, and it's not going to be easy. The guy's got to be tall, he's got to have good decisions, he's got to have good work rate, determination, off the ball, passing, decisions, vision. So if you can find a player like that, I'll be very impressed. Uh, I typically like to keep things simple. So Poacher, and when I looked at some of your highlights, most of your highlights showed that your team was struggling. Now let's just take a look at one of your matches and let's try and analyze what I mean by good shots inside the box. So what I typically do is I go to the highlights here, and then I'll go to your Aston Villa side, shot on goal. This is one of your shots on goal. Was this a good chance? So what we do is we come in here, we watch the highlight. Now this is from a corner. This is if I track the highlight back, you'll see it starts off from a corner. The corner is not cleared and it goes backwards. The boys go back, and this is the reason why I chalked this highlight off. Because throughout the entire game, you didn't have any other highlight of this nature. So while your boys were trying, we never produced another highlight which resulted in a good shot on target. So we had to remove that. Then we look at your shots off target. Shots off target in this match, as you can see, you got a whole bunch of shots outside the box. And we'll just pick one of these to see whether it's a good highlight or not. Bree gets the ball, he works backwards. I recommend watching these kind of chances on several times over. This is not an easy shot. So this is not a shot. This is a difficult shot on target. It's a shot inside the box, but it's not a good chance inside the box. So we repeat the same with all these chances, and I came to the conclusion that these were not easy chances that you were missing. Here, there's a shot save on 20 minutes. I'll watch them as early as I can. Then we break the highlights down. So here Chester wins the ball, plays it to McCormack. McCormack breaks through and then goes wide, which is a good thing to do. This header, this is not an easy chance inside the box. This is a high difficulty chance because he's moving towards the ball, and he's also under pressure. So we repeat the same with all the other chances to try and see if there are any easy chances for your side. Once again, as the ball, this was from a set piece, a free kick, and it was a chance outside. But this isn't a very bad chance. However, still there was it's from a free kick, so we had to chalk that off. So when I'm looking at your tactic, this is what I typically do. Whenever I go into any game, I'll be looking at chances. As you can see, in most of the matches that I was watching, I got the distinct impression that your side was spending a lot of time moving the ball really quickly and then losing the plot in the final third. So we go through the transitions, and then the transitions will stop just like that. So I ended up having to track back and then going through more of your highlights. So even if I go on comprehensive, I'd find that your boys will build the play up, and then they will get stuck somewhere around this transition phase over here. They get in there and there were no options. Unama now gets the ball. He plays it to Bunsen again. See, Graban gets to the ball. Plays it to Bunsen. Bunsen to Bree. Loses out, as you can see. There are not many. By the time this is a problem with some of these tactics. By the time you build the play up, your boys, they don't have any options inside. You're not stretching a team. So Snodgrass gets the ball. Again, they look for the playmaker in the middle. And there we go. Now he holds the ball. Everybody's congregating around him. Goes to Unama. There we go. Unama finds Snodgrass, but there's nothing he can do as well. He just slams the ball. So you're not creating any good color. There's no width stretching play. So there are things that we need to do. Let's look at training. I'm going to avoid this for now, but here you have team cohesion. It's already August. Now, I definitely do this. Forget team cohesion. Okay, if they need, by now I probably start working on attacking movement. I mean, there are some people who swear that team cohesion is going to improve. Trust me, they use the tactic long enough, their cohesion is going to improve anyway. So that's what I would do. I'll change. I won't bother. After once the season is, by September, you better not be on team cohesion. I mean, if you want to be on team cohesion, the latest I give it is the end of August, and after that, get off it as soon as possible, because it does nothing for player attribute development. No matter what anyone tells you, team cohesion does nada for player development. So if you want your players to get better at playing the game, attributes have to improve. So that's what you want to do. And these give attacking, movement, defensive, all these four give you short-term boost. Teamwork does not give you any boost. Match tactics does not give you any boost either. So you want to have a small boost to chances of winning, then go to attacking movement, to defending, to defensive positioning. You want to score more from set pieces, go to this. You want to defend better, you go to this one. All right, so we've done that. Now it's time for us to look at your tactic as a whole. So when I'm looking at your tactic, essentially what we have is wingers on attack here, attacking playmaker in the middle, which isn't bad. You got two roles here, but you ended up using a player who can't tackle very well in this position. You got two central defenders here, which gives you a very one-dimensional attack from the back, because then you need to build play up. If you might have a quick breakaway, you don't see it. These guys, they're not given the liberty to make that kind of a decision. I sometimes like to play the defensive centre back or a ball playing defender who can lob balls forward. Problem here, wingers on attack. Why? Isolation. They get forward, then you end up having a 4-2-1-3. So these three guys are going to be on their own in the opposition half. So how can we fix this? If they are very good on their own, not bad. If your players can find them with long passes, not bad. But what happens when you can't? Which is the problem you had in your game. So you need to come with an alternative. We initially started with something like this. Essentially looking to control possession on the left side of the pitch with an inverted wingback, a box-to-box midfielder, inside forward and support. And on the right flank, we'd have a wingback on support, supporting the central midfielder on defense and the wing on attack. But within about 10 minutes of the game, I made a change, my first change in the game, and we actually ended up settling with a much more aggressive system, which uses a halfback instead of a central midfielder on defense and a segundo volante. But in that game, we went with a halfback and a box-to-box midfielder as our first option. So, slight change, drop the central midfielder to a halfback, gives us more control on the right hand side of the pitch. Wingback can bomb forward now. On the left line, the inverted wingback is supporting the box-to-box midfielder. Was one variation, and we did okay with this. However, an injury to John Terry, seeing him stretch it off, and then we lost one of our defenders on our wingback to a red card. And I decided, well, I had faith in the system. There was no need to change it. So we left it alone, and we continued to play the game without a wingback. The roles on the left-hand side of the pitch were meant to keep possession of the ball. It's more important that you are able to do your midfield consolidation phase with enough passes to work the ball into dangerous positions. That's what we want to aim to do, and we managed to get ourselves into a good goal scoring opportunity. The opposition brought us down inside the box, so our first really good chance came from a penalty. So you're 10 men down, you have a penalty. Start of the second half, no changes to the tactic, and once again a good build-up play from the team, which is what we want to see when we're creating any kind of a tactic with chances inside the box. So 3-1 win over Norwich, easy win, 10 men down. Next match against West Brom, Carabao Cup, decided to do it slightly differently. Volante halfback combination with an attacking playmaker now on support. Still playing the high block. We haven't made any changes to the PIs. We just changed the roles around to make us a bit more defensively solid at the back. West Brom are a Premiership side. You're a Championship side. You took the lead with a goal from a set piece, so we wrote that off. We want to see chances from open play. West Brom's only goal came from a free kick from outside the box. Other than that, no good chances were created by them. The halfback Volante combination did a very good job of shutting out an attack by West Bromwich Albion and turning it around into a counter-attacking opportunity, which your poacher gleefully accepted, giving you guys a 2-1 win over a Premiership side. it's time now for us to break the tactic down. Now, essentially, this is just a variation of my Draco Dungeon Deep tactic and a combination of my Cutthroat 4231 system, which is available in the FM Tactics Handbook. Now, this tactic also plays with a high block. So, what we want to do is we want to make sure that all these guys have a close down more, tackle harder, mark tighter on them. So, these 4 guys up top. We also want to play much narrow. There's a reason why we want to play much narrow. We want to focus the play through the middle of the pitch. This would keep the players closer together during the transitions, and the wingers on attack, they will still attack the flanks. They'll still go down the flanks because they're going to be driven by the roles that they're using. So here we've got a box-to-box midfielder, we've got a halfback on defense, we've got a wingback on support who's been told to sit narrow, cut inside with the ball. Sit narrower helps us during the defensive transitions as well as during the midfield consolidation phase by keeping him closer to the two defensive midfielders. We got an inverted wingback on defense who will sit narrower, so he will sit in this position. So we do a good job of recycling possession of the ball in the middle of the pitch. Here we're using a defensive centre back because we want to have the option of hurling the ball over the top. In terms of the play instructions, we have a close down less for the inverted wing back. We should have a defensive centre back here, the central defender here, the wing back should less often dribble less, close down less, few risky passes, sit narrow, cut inside with the ball. We are using a sweeper keeper instead of a goalkeeper on defense because we do want him to push up once in a while, and if in case we ever decide to push the defensive line even higher than this, we got control structured. The box-to-box midfielder isn't doing anything else. Wing on attack, AP on support. Here, in this system, we can turn this guy into an AP on attack. So you got these 3 players attacking space on the right. You can also drop this guy into a position where he's an AP on support. I've done both in the tactic and both work. The defensive variant of this tactic would simply be a volante. Without making any other changes, we'll just use a segundo volante. Here you will definitely need to use an AP on support because we need this role to drop deeper so it supports play. Other than that, there's no other change to the tactic. There's no player role changes, nothing. It just plays the same way. And the tactic uses work ball into box push up, use offside trap, prevent short goalkeeper distribution, and play much narrower. There are times when you might want to think about using pass into space. If the AI gives you a lot of space, especially if they're using a wing back in this position. So if you have a wing back on the left hand side if the AI is using a left wing back on attack, then use pass into space because this guy is going to love it. Well, I hope you enjoyed this edition of Game Changer. If you have any questions, you know to find me. You can always look me up on Twitter at Bustthenet or addicted2fm.com, my website. Once again, I'd like to thank all my patrons so they continue to support this channel. I do hope these kind of videos help you guys out. You guys take care. Have a good one. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.